Good morning, Rancheroos. Good. Remember not to keep myself muted this morning. Let me double check my sound because I'm paranoid. Oh. Oh, I'm frozen. All right. Let's try this one more time. I've had nothing but fun issues with my equipment this morning for no apparent reason other than I have to do a live show. There we go. Now I'm better. So, I hope you all are having a good week so far. I know many of you around the world are currently on some sort of self-quarantine or, God forbid, isolation, but we're going to have some fun anyway. So today we're going to continue automating all the things. The last time we were on, we started with Azure Key Vault. We had a couple of issues. Maybe we'll start there, or we'll go off and just do something simpler while I think about that a little more and read some more docs. So if you'd like to join us today, as always, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/me, Jason Van Brackle. I'm always tweeting when the times and the dates are for the RanchCast. If you miss an episode, you can check them out on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/ranch, no, not slash rancher, / the RanchCast, you'll see past episodes there. So you'll see, actually, it's actually live. So Restream was telling me this morning it was having issues with rebroadcasting to YouTube. That doesn't appear to be an issue now, which is good to know. So you can join us on Twitch, on Mixer, and on YouTube. And of course, the recordings will end up on YouTube. I do want to highlight one thing that's coming up. The Observe 2020 conference. So the Observe 2020 now virtual conference is to talk about observability. We're going to be diving deep into observability later this year into 2020. We're going to talk about what it is, what it gets you from a use case perspective, and really why you absolutely need it. So I was originally going to be part of this conference, then had to change up some scheduling. I don't know if I'll be part of this now or not, with it being virtual. Maybe not. Everything's kind of up in the air and fungible and squishy, but you should go attend this virtual conference. Tickets right here, and lots of awesome human beings are involved in Observe 2020, so please go check it out. I'll actually be meeting with Paul Bruce, one of the organizers of this conference, on Thursday. Originally, I'd hoped to do that today, but tech issues got in the way of everything this morning. So, also, we may have other noises going on because my kids are home. Like pretty much everybody in the United States, or most of them in the United States now. Schools are closed. I've got 3 kids. So the elephant you hear stomping upstairs will be my children. So that being said, let's get started today. So, also, because everybody says it, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. If you'd like to join us today, as always, you can join us on Slack. That's slack.rancher.io. And you can join the Rancher Users channel. And that would be here. If you go to the Ranchers User Slack and you join the RanchCast, then you can chat, make fun of me, tell me when my sound's not working or when I've muted myself. But just join along. It's a lot of fun. So let's get started. If you'd like to follow along code-wise, this entire project is in GitHub. Get to github.com/me, Jason Van Brackle, /cattle drive. And I'll highlight that since it's not exactly easy to read when Firefox blanks it out. So this should all be up to date. Yes, it is up to date, I think. We'll find out. So go ahead and clone the repo, and we'll jump into, in my case, Microsoft Terminal. Grab your terminal of choice. And I'm going to grab my terminal of choice and bring it over. As always. Okay. We're going to start this morning with the upgrade of the WSL2 terminal component. All right. So for those of you who don't know, I use WSL2 in Windows. It is right now my favorite Linux machine. And really that's just a practicality thing. When Linux can do PowerPoint and LibreOffice and it just works everywhere, and then the things that are built in Windows and Mac OS work in Linux, I can stop using WSL2 and go right back to my Linux distribution of choice, which changes almost weekly. So right now I'm on WSL2. Run the update package in the previous step. You'll be prompted for elevated permissions. Yes, and okay. I'm assuming this, 6 megabyte file, yeah. Okay, small deviation from plan this morning. That's okay. Download, open file. Yes, you can do whatever evil thing you want. Okay. So let's actually tell it that we want to use this thing. So I'm going to, you can't see us off screen because I don't want to show off my entire downloads folder. I can't unblock it. Come on. I'm on a Windows Insider's build, which is fine. That's not helpful. Really not helpful. Oh, AMD's x64. Alright. If using ARM machine. Nope, that's the package I want. This is x64. Oh, I grabbed the ARM package. That's what happens when I'm thinking about you all and thinking about downloading stuff. So, let's try this again. See, it's smarter than me. It's a lot smarter than me. Yes, you can have elevated permissions. Go ahead. Break my system and finish. Now, hopefully, we're good to go here. Let's try this again. So first things first, we're gonna, oh yeah, Docker's down too. I didn't even notice that this morning. So we're gonna restart Docker. See here, we're restarting Docker. Yes. Docker is restarting. It's yelling about WSL2 because I'm using WSL2 backplane to try to make my Docker experience from WSL2 to Windows seamless. It's just not quite seamless yet. WSL2 with the backbone, I think will be available in Windows 10 build, I want to say 2014. Don't quote me on that. Or just look it up yourself. But I think it's Windows 2014. So I'm using an insider build because I like being a little bit ahead of the curve so I can use all the new, new fun features. All right. Now let's see how we're doing. Docker is still, we're going to quit Docker desktop. We're going to see if we can fire up terminal again. Well, it's, hey, all right, we have a Windows terminal window. All right, cool. Let's see if we get Docker started because I do need Docker. Well, maybe I don't need Docker. I might not need Docker today, but I'm going to at least try to start it up. Docker is starting. See, I can't help myself but sing, even with the background music now. All right, Docker. Okay, everything appears to be, excuse me, everything appears to be working just about okay. So let's get started. We're going into our source, and we're going to go into our Terraform modules, our cattle drive, and then we are going to git check out. Make sure I'm on the master. Mid detached head. I should not. Oh, there are just days. That. All right, let's try this. Better, better, good. All right. I was testing out a few things in a whole nother upstream, and that, I just want to make sure that I wasn't on there and that I was where we were as of episode 9 of automating all the things. So let's actually get into code and see where we are. All right, let's go ahead and shut these down. That's right, we were having issues with the creation of. We were having issues with the creation of the service principal and of the key vault. Let me make this larger for all of you as well. I think that should be a little bit more readable. So we were here. Let's go talk about where we were from a main perspective and from a module perspective. So we had created the key vault module, and the point of this key vault module was to create a vault. Oh, I already see an issue. So we're going to need multiple vaults for multiple Kubernetes clusters, but we have hard-coded the name. That's not going to work. So that's thing one we're going to have to fix today. So let's, as always, I have my live notes, my live show notes. That was from 9. We took some steps here. Automate Key Vault. Okay, automate Key Vault, reconfigure Arcade Cluster to use the Azure KMS plugin. Stuff to fix, random string, random password. Okay, so we're going to go till about, I would say 11 or 11:15, maybe 11:30 Eastern time today. So somewhere between a half an hour and an hour. And we're going to get this slowly moving towards actually working. We'll start, and maybe we'll also fix this, which is actually a major security issue. And this became, excuse me, this was just my ignorance with creating random passwords in Terraform. I found random string, but did not find random password in the docs. All why it's so important to read your documentation. So we have to actually change random string to random password, so that we're not, we're not putting passwords in the standard out of the Linux, current or not, the Linux terminal. Yeah, smart. All right, so first things first, we are going to have to log into Azure today. And I'm going to do a device login. And the code, and next. And we're going to log into my Rancher account this morning. And good, we should have our command line interface. And we do, good. And then I want to see my Azure account show, just because I'm paranoid and I use so many accounts on here that occasionally I'll be logged into multiple at one time and I'll just be on the wrong account. Wow, did y'all see a weird pink flash? That was funny. All right, so we're good there, Azure Cloud. That's what I want to be in. We can close this down and we're still in the cattle drive. Good. So first things first, let's actually go ahead and fix this Azure Key Vault. So we're going to need a name for the vault. Oh, we have one. I was thinking ahead. I just didn't fix it. So this is var.vault name. Boom. Good. All right, that's thing one we need to fix. That might have fixed us. I don't know if I fixed this completely or not. And let's also make sure we're clean here and that we don't have random groups hanging around from our other cattle drive stuff. Just good. We should be clean there too. And I need to check my key vault to make sure I don't have any extra vaults sitting around. Azure Key Vault. AZ Key Vault. Still can't spell vault. Getting nothing. Okay, I'm going to assume we're good to go. I'm actually going to make this. Can I make this larger? Oh, I can make this larger. I hadn't tried that yet. All right. Make this a little bit bigger. And we're not talking to Kubernetes right now, so I don't need my kube PS1 there. Thank you again, John Moscow. You're awesome. Ugh, Keurig. Usually I take the time to French press, but with all the issues I was having with my tech this morning, I just Keurigged it. Actually, this one isn't so bad. It's a good donut. I think it's like a donut shop blend. It's passable. It's not gourmet. All right, so we're in our Terraform modules, and we're gonna run an automate script, and we're gonna see what breaks, because I'm sure things are broken. Really could probably turn off the Cloudflare provider. I'm not using it right now. All right, so you can see now we're using Azure AD and Azure RM and Cloudflare. Oh, and I've added Helm. I don't remember putting that in the upstream branch, but maybe I did. Huh. All right, while it's automating, we'll check to see what I did with Helm, if it's actually in this specific branch or not. That'd be kind of cool, though, if I actually had that working. All right, that looks good. All right, Terraform, what are you thinking? Terraform's doing a lot of thinking right now. I'm not sure why. Hey, there we go. Oh, has to reach out to the web to refresh some state. So we got Helm, Cloudflare, which I really turn off because I'm not using it right now. Making sure all the Azure RM stuff is working just fine. We're using the data Azure RM to just grab the current subscription from the user. We're gonna flip that later, so everything's, you know, self-contained and no Azure RM required. We'll have an actual service principal doing this work because that would be a best practice. Wow. You know, it's interesting since everybody, almost everybody. Oh, okay. Well, that's easy enough to fix. We're not even using the Cloudflare module, so let's just turn it off. All right, Cloudflare. No, I don't want to comment out here. I want to comment out in my main. Where is my main? Right here. All right, Cloudflare and main. There we go. Yes, enable for Cloudflare. I do need this enabled. We're not using this right now. There we go. So, and we're not flushing the DNS cache, and we're not waiting for DNS because we're not doing anything Cloudflare oriented, which is good. Okay. And initializing Helm. Okay, I have not integrated Helm in yet because then I would not be using the shell. I would be initializing Helm. Or no, initializing Helm is right. Start Manager is right. I think the Rancher setup module is the new one. Yeah, I guess I did write that, and I didn't mean to put it in this source. We'll walk through that if we have some, or while we're automating all the things as our cluster is coming up, and our install Rancher has changed. Okay, good. All right, I'm not entirely paranoid. Yeah, I did some work in this branch. I didn't mean to. I meant to do another one. So we'll walk through that because last time I made big jumps. I didn't make a big jump here. I made a small jump. I did confuse the hell out of people, and I don't want to do that this morning. So let's get back to it, shall we? All right, everything here looks good. And let's go ahead and automate the things again. Now, remember my automate is taking out all my init stuff and all my state stuff just in case I left some garbage around. And that's more protection for me because I'm, you know, ADHD out the wazoo and, you know, don't take meds because of, you know, other weird brain things that I was born with that I learned about later in life. I'll do a show on that sometime. Some of you will find that interesting. Some of you can ignore. It's always very strange because I can see myself in both windows to my left and right. One is my live view next to me in OBS. The other is the restream stream to my left, to my right, to my left. Yeah, that's right. OBS restream, and I do that in case I need to check something right away. So when you see me looking off this way occasionally, it really is just me glancing at my setup to make sure that I haven't broken it while live. I know the stream's a little glitchy this morning. I've had to switch up some hardware in the house. Really, I just need to order a new router. The one I'm using is good, but what I'm finding with everyone home all at once, the router was never designed for that. So it's a travel router. It's getting a little overloaded, and that's okay. It's mildly obnoxious when the kids are trying to do Netflix and YouTube and Disney Plus, and I'm trying to stream. And yes, okay, so that's gonna start automating. While that's automating, we actually have a chance to review what I did in Helm off stream. So the thing that was annoying me is I have a lot of scripting in here. So I have the install Rancher script, which points to one with self-signed and one with let's encrypt, and then in the install cert manager. And I want to get as much of this into native code as possible. So Terraform as we can. And my experimentation off-site taught me a few things. One, trying to do the cert manager stuff in the Helm provider was not going to work. So I'm going to leave that alone. But what I do want to do is move this out of a script and into something that is, well, I mean, this is version controlled, but just trying to get bash out of this as much as possible. So step one of doing that is to create our module. And that was our Rancher setup module. So let's look at the variables it needs. It needs some stuff for Let's Encrypt. It needs the Rancher host name and the kubeconfig path because it needs to know what kubeconfig to talk to because we're creating one on the fly. We have no outputs right now. And our main is quite simple. So if you want to see the information about the Helm provider in the code, let's also make that larger. We'll go to the docs. .terraform, or no, it's terraform.io/docs. terraform.io/docs/providers/helm. And I'll just go right to the index. Whoops. And we can see here, we're going to use we have two different providers we could talk to. There's not the providers. There's two different resources we can talk to: the Helm release resource and the Helm repository resource. So we're going to set up external repositories for our Rancher bits, and then we're going to actually do a release in Terraform. Now, I believe one of the gotchas here is you have to pre-set up kubectl. Yep. So you have to have kubectl set up, and I believe this is designed to work with Helm 3. I believe. I have Helm 3 on my machine. It works with Helm 3, and so that that's the thing you have to worry about in the provider. And I believe in our Helm provider, I did just that. Yep. So yeah, I'm going to my config path. That config path, remember, is created when the RKE cluster is stood up. And then we're also using the Kubernetes provider. What was I doing with the Kubernetes provider? I don't even remember what I was doing with the Kubernetes provider. Guess we'll have to figure that out later. When you've been away from something for too many days and you're not exactly sure what it was you were thinking at that time. This is why I take copious notes. I don't like that's a little bit too large, even for me. So, first things first is we set up the Helm provider with the kubeconfig path, which is passed in via our variable. Let's go ahead and close that. And I want to open my variables file for my Rancher setup module. So you see here we have the kubeconfig path, the Let's Encrypt email, the environment, and the Rancher host name. What I'll have to do is set up separate module types for Let's Encrypt versus not Let's Encrypt and self-signed. But let's do this the simple way first. So first things first, Azure RM. Do I even need that here? Wait a second. Did I just jump provider? I did. I jumped mains. Sorry. In the Rancher setup module. That's the one I want. Okay. So the first thing is we need the repository. And I'm grabbing Helm Stable. You can grab Alpha. You can grab whatever you'd like. I'm just grabbing Helm Stable. My name is important. And then I'm going to do a Rancher set install. Give it a name, the namespace, a repository. This is a little bit funky. I had to go through the documentation to figure out what that was, but there's a lot of things in Helm with the resources where it needs a collection, where you wouldn't think it would need a collection, but you know, we'll deal with that as we may. We have our ingress set up for Let's Encrypt, our TLS source, and then our setup for Let's Encrypt, our host name, our audit log, and our add local settings. So this should absolutely match the install file that we have down here with the Let's Encrypt. It's actually simpler because here I'm actually grabbing alpha and latest and stable, doing some environment variables. Oh, and using tillers. This is actually my 2.0 setup. And then let's see, kubeconfig and kubecontext. We don't have to worry about kubecontext in this case. Host name. Yeah, everything's looking like. Do I have the host name set up in here? That's a good question. Do I have the host name set up? Host name. Yep, good. Did that too. So yeah, it looks like this should work just fine. Let's see how it's going. Hey, it hasn't blown up yet. Good to know. So we're waiting on cloud inits, which is pretty normal. Eventually, I'm going to have a provisioner that checks to see that the cloud init is run. Right now, I'm just using a timeout based on testing. It's not ideal, but that's, like I said, we're iterating towards excellence. So we're getting it working, and then we're iterating towards excellence. And there we are. So I'm going to trust that to work, and we're going to see how well our key vault test did. So yeah, we talked about our Helm. Did I add anything else? I don't think I added everything else. So the issue, I tried to do one for the Cert Manager, and Cert Manager is a little more complex because you're setting up a namespace. That's it. My first test, I tried to do Cert Manager first, for which I needed. Yeah, maybe we'll convert this over to a mostly Helm setup and then do the rest with the config. That might be interesting. The issue I had here was this, the CRDs. So let's take a look at this. Let's actually open the CRD and take a look at what's going on here, because this actually is pretty complicated, our CRD. So for those who are not familiar, CRDs are custom resource definitions. This is the API in Kubernetes to add APIs to the Kubernetes API. It's the extensibility model. That's all true. I just like to say it that way because it sounds more complicated and it gets a laugh live, but you're all probably not laughing. You're like my kids when I tell like a dad joke. So this is the extensibility model. So we're essentially adding APIs to Kubernetes with these custom resource definitions, additional printer columns, JSON path stuff. I am not a CRD expert. I'm getting there. Like to be. Wish I were. But really, it's a time thing. It's a time thing. I don't code every day anymore, and I kind of miss it. So I think as I start coding, it's going to be on CRD things. But you see here, there's a lot of stuff that goes into a CRD spec to define the type and the various things that you can pass to it. But all of this is not doable today in the Helm provider. So if we look at the Helm provider, and we look at the Kubernetes provider. That's what I was going to use the Kubernetes provider for. So this is not possible in the Kubernetes provider today. And the reason for this, quite simply, is that there's no way to do custom resource definition from what I can tell here, because we have all these resources for ingress and job, and this works for like 95% of the cases in Kubernetes for really simple applications, which means that I don't have the ability to do custom resource definition. I'm wondering, and I think I should be able to do custom resource definition as part of a Helm package. Maybe I'll extend the Cert Manager Helm package to also do the CRD work. Yeah, so that was the issue I ran into. That's why I had the Kubernetes provider. I was thinking about taking the Cert Manager work and porting it over, and found out that there's no way in here either to define a custom resource definition, nor is there a way to execute an arbitrary YAML file. And that makes sense from a Terraform perspective, because Terraform is defining state, and the installation of Cert Manager would be a state thing. So I think to do this in a state-aware manner, for Terraform, I'd have to just extend the Helm chart for Cert Manager for our purposes. So maybe we'll do that in a future episode. Let's see how our automation is going. Oh, good. We've Rancher cluster standing up. So we're going to give that a minute. I'm going to check over here. Nobody's on the RanchCast channel this morning. Oh, well. That's okay. Because I know you all are watching, because I get the YouTube stats saying you all are watching. And since we're all locked in our homes together, it has time. You could binge watch the RanchCast. Maybe not. I mean, I love doing this, and I'm improving the quality episode over episode, but I've watched some of those old episodes, and some of the sound is terrible. Some of them, well, I make mistakes in all of them. That's just the way it is. All right, so my Rancher cluster is standing up. While that's working, let's go. Look at that. We have a cluster. Interesting. Oh no. I killed it. That's okay. Looks like I did half the work. That's okay that I did half the work. Probably just means we're in a really nasty we're in really nasty shape. Oh, I'm still running the Helm file. So the first thing is we have to take that out. Initializing Helm. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And then Azure AD failed miserably as well. Oh. Okay. Well, let's fix the things we're going to fix today, and then we'll actually get the whole thing up and running, and I'll make sure it works before Thursday when we talk about this stuff again. Not a smart man. All right, so we have the null resource for initializing Helm. We shouldn't need to initialize Helm now because the Helm provider will do that for us. Okay. That is just ugly. So let's go to our main. And we want to be in the main of the root module here. And we're going to look for our initialize Helm module. Right there. And there you are. I forgot to take you out. And I looked right at you. And I didn't take you out. So that's thing one. So we need to take this out. And then we're going to have to, actually we are going to have some Helm initialized for this to work. All right. Because Cert Manager is still relying on Helm proper. So let's initialize Helm. So fix 1. We're going to make this good for Helm 3. So we're going to go here. We're going to remove this. And we're actually, does it still use local? That's a good question. Let's find out. We should be able to see it here. Let's update that. We should have a, where does it put this config path? Config lab right here. And it calls the context. Cluster is local. Context cluster user name is local. Okay. So nothing changed there. We can trust that. And we're going to knock out the service account because they don't mean anything anymore. And that was error 1 that we got. Error 1 was unknown flag service account, which is reasonable. And their error running command, initializing Helm, good thing. And then Rancher template. So this was actually during the Helm install. Ew, that's nasty. Executing deployment YAML error. Calling GT incompatible types for comparison. I don't know what that means, but let's actually look at it. All right, so we're going to go to our Rancher setup module. Incompatible. Which line is that? Line 16. Here. I bet it's this. I bet it's that. Okay. I think we're good there. All right. Terraform is probably going to choke to death over some of this because it does not like when I have issues in my script files, but let's try it anyway. So let's see what Terraform's going to do here. Oh, and we had this Azure error. I can't really ignore this, can I? Already exists. Azure auto rest in property name. Oh, it's the RBAC applications create. So it's somewhere in the Azure AD module. Oh, the service principal. Okay. Let's see how we're looking here. So in the service principal module, we ran into nothing is hard coded. So that's a good thing. Except for contributor, but that should be fine. The password. Oh, it's being passed in. Okay, that's fine. Yes, nothing there looks awry, which probably means I just had a service principal that already existed. So plan is not gonna, yeah, we'll let that do its thing. I'm gonna let that do its thing. While that's doing its thing, we're gonna walk through main, and we're gonna walk through main and see what the name of that thing is so I can kill it with fire. So there's the Rancher setup module, there's our initializing Helm, there's our Cert Manager, and there's our Rancher setup. So I did comment that one out, but not the one, yeah, I didn't fix the issue with going from Helm 2 to Helm 3. So that was fix 1 we made, was go to Helm 3. Fix 2 will be Ah, random password. Is it random string? What am I using this for? Random string random. Okay. That, so we do have to fix that. So this needs to be a password. I believe the semantics are exactly the same. The only issue is that one spits out of the console and the other does not. Alright, all of this is looking okay. Should I be? I probably should be on 1909 now, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Did I see another random? Yes, I did. So this is also a password. And then password here. Random. Oh, good. That's the only place it seems I have it. Good to know. Then we should be good to go here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. No. There we go. That's what I wanted. Big shortcut key fan. Try to touch my mouse as little as possible, though it's nice for scrolling. Alright, all of this looks better. We've gotten rid of all of our random strings. We've fixed for Helm 3. Let's see if Terraform chokes to death on this. Where I don't think it's going to be happy about is where I change the passwords. We'll find out though. Hope you are enjoying the background music. I actually can't hear it because I don't want my mic to pick it up. Ooh, okay. Reference to undeclared resource has not been managed. Resource random password. Oh, it's not been declared in the root module. What did I do wrong? Oh. Let's try this. Terraform init. I believe I need to go grab the random password resource. Maybe? No? Find out. Oh, manage resource random password. Okay. Maybe. Let's actually look at the random password. I don't know it off the top of my head. There we go. That's the one I want. Random password. Password. Random password. Password result. Yeah, that's what I should be saying, right? Random password. Password result. Right? Yes. Yes. That looks about right. Okay. What don't you like about this? In module. Oh. Oh, I know what's wrong. I know exactly what's wrong. So Rancher Bootstrap module. I know what's going on here. This is where we're having a problem because I need a password and var admin password. Is that it? Where are you having a problem? Line 3. Oh, main line 301. That's not this one. That's this one. Random password. Resource random password. Random. What? Did I spell something wrong? Nope. I did not spell that wrong. Why are we yelling? This is where I rely on your eyes, and y'all aren't around this morning. So, undeclared reference to undeclared resource in the module. Admin password goes random. Oh, okay. I see. So Rancher Bootstrap is here. That should. Am I coding it wrong? Or did I use that somewhere else? I used that somewhere else. I should have multiple. I should see where I used it in an area that makes sense. Okay. Random password. Rancher service principal result. Yeah, those all look... Those look good. Those are inside of the Terraform provider, right? Right. Resource. 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 Random password. Random password. Name. Alright, I'm going to gut check myself and I'm just going to copy it right like this and put it here. I didn't see a change there. I'm going to call this, we're going to call this bootstrap password. I don't know, it should be admin. Admin password, right? Okay. And then it should be random password. And that was it. Oh, I looked at that like 4 times and didn't see the missing S. And then, just because I'm going to be a little paranoid, we won't undo the random, we'll actually give it the new name. Not so smart. Okay. So Terraform should be happy now. Curious how many things it's going to have to remove because my state is probably all over the place right now. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. From liking to see. Good. Good, 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 good. No passwords being flushed out to the console. Refreshing state for our various nodes. That's good. Ooh, it might choke on the Rancher setup because I don't think Rancher ever got set up properly. Yes, because Helm was not happy. So I'm assuming this is going to die here. If it does, we'll stop here for today with the fixes that we made. I'll make sure by the time we do Thursday, this is working properly. Or at least broken in predictable ways. Or I could just switch over to my other account. Maybe I'll do that. Oh no, it didn't choke to death, did it? Oh, I'm gonna see what it wants to destroy. I think that's interesting. So, OS profile, that's for forcing replacement. I don't know if that'll actually work. I'm curious if that'll actually work. That looks fine. Oh, the node has to be replaced. Yuck. I mean, we're probably gonna create a little havoc here, but let's see what happens. I'm okay seeing what happens here. Terraform. Apply. Yeah, it's gonna have to replace like 3 nodes. Yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck. The upside is maybe I actually did manage to fix the service principal, and actually managed to fix the key vault issue. Wait a second. What was he yelling at me about having a duplicate name for a service principal? Yeah, that's probably a problem too. Because the service principal probably still exists, and the Terraform module, if it can't see it, can't handle it. So let's look at the main here. Admin, Bootstrap, Kate's. Where are my service principals? I should have one in. Nope, that's further up. There we go. So source application name. Yeah, we probably have one called CCM principal. Oops, no, I don't want that. I wanted Control T to do this, which it didn't do. I wanted to do an AZ list, or service principal, AZ ADSP list. That's going to give me a big old list of things, which is fine because I just wanted to know what that command line argument was for all, because I do want them all from the cloud, and I'm going to grep for CCM. Yes, we do. AZADSP, delete. And then it's, I know I'm missing a command line argument here. What am I missing? Debug ID. That's it. ID. Should be able to do it by name. Really? Really, really, really. Let's see if we can grab the IDs of both of them. Oh, it's probably like HTTP colon. Yeah, it's probably this. Let's give that a go, shall we? No, really. Did I not scroll up enough to get an ID? CCM, add-ins, information. Is this it? Maybe this is it. No, those are auth 2 permissions. It's the OAuth permissions. Oh, man. I wish I could just talk to it by name. By its friendly name. So it's all friendly like. Alright, app name. Okay, here. Maybe it's this? Let's try it. There are some things about the Azure APIs that just irk me to death, and this is one of them. So, Kate's principal, Kate's. So it looks like we didn't get to the other principal, which is fine. And then, yes. Did it see the service principal? Rancher service principal will be created. Rancher CCM principal. I'm going to do this one more time just since I've been mucking around with stuff. Make sure all this is saved. Close all. I'll fix that undeclared variable issue later. It's not something I'm so concerned about right this moment. Problem is it's going to take like 4.5-5 minutes to redo everything. I'm not sure if I want to have you all sitting here and waiting for that to see just how many mistakes I've made. Alright, Terraform Apply is doing its thing. Good. I see state. I see it not yelling at me for various things, which is good. IP addresses all look good. Almost there. Almost there. All right, Ranchers, I'm going to call it a day, just because otherwise we're going to wait for this for like 7 or 8 minutes to do its thing and still probably see somewhere else I've broken it. So, Thursday. Here's the agenda for Thursday. I will commit this, right after whatever runs with an update in the description of the channel as to where it is. So, Automate All Things episode 10 will be uploaded later today with the description. All this code will be checked into Git, into the repo so you can have it. And then on Thursday, we will continue this with the Azure Key Vault wherever we're at, whether it's working or not. So, with that being said, thank you all for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.